I'm pretty sure everybody has made a mistake in their relationship at one point or another. I know I have. When you do make a mistake, you would give anything to go back in time and fix it, right? Well, today we're going to talk about how to fix mistakes in your relationship with no time travel necessary. Let's get started. Hey, it's Cavallo from datingfire.com and datingadviceguru.com. Welcome back to the dating and relationship secrets you need to know. When I coach women, I find that most mistakes fall into very simple categories. The first kind of mistake is she said the wrong thing at the wrong time, probably, in an emotional conversation. Now, who hasn't done this one? In fact, if I ever heard somebody say that they hadn't made that mistake, I'd know they were lying. Everybody has done it. From the first moment you learn how to talk, we basically start saying the wrong thing. So the point is, how do we avoid this particular mistake? Now, of course, you'll never be able to prevent all of those slips of the lip, but you should have a few skills set aside to deal with this kind of mistake. I'm going to cover that in a minute. Mistake number 2 is you didn't figure out his point of view. This one is fairly common as well. Most women assume that they know what's going on with him, or even if they don't, they figure it's probably in a few very simple categories. Mostly because she doesn't really know how to ask, or she's afraid to ask because that might bring something out you don't want to hear. Especially because guys are so good at keeping their emotions out of sight, right? Another mistake is you didn't know what you wanted or how to ask for it. Now, this one comes down to simply knowing how to talk to men, and I'm going to show you a little bit more of how to do that later in the video. If you can think of some mistakes that I haven't mentioned here, by the way, comment below. Let me know some of the mistakes you think that I need to cover in a future video. I'll cover that later too. Okay, let's get started with how to fix this stuff. So the mistake of saying the wrong thing in an emotional conversation. The interesting thing about this mistake is that you didn't really say the wrong thing. What you did was express your need in an emotional way instead of possibly with some more thought and tact and maybe a better political edge to it. But when we're not getting our emotional needs met, they can be very hard to communicate, right? Mostly because we're so damn frustrated. When your emotions get involved, communication can be very panicked and overwhelming. It's just like when we were kids and we didn't get what we wanted from our parents. What did we do? We acted out. We might have thrown a tantrum, and we often get in a habit of letting our emotions overwhelm us when we're starving for something in our relationship. The key here is to recognize the frustration early. The sooner you notice it and the sooner you address it, the better off you're going to be. Again, what do most women do? They tend to hold back out of a fear of being too much, too emotional, too intense, too sensitive, too stubborn, too attached, too needy, too anything. Of course, when you compare yourself to a man, in his eyes, you're always going to be a lot more than him. You're going to seem like you're much, maybe not too much. The only time you become too much with a guy is when you exceed his emotional tolerance level. When you believe you're too much, you shut off a part of yourself, really, on the inside, right? You shut yourself down and you learn how to hide. We learn to hide our personality, and then we learn to hide our feelings. And then what happens? You cultivate a fear of people seeing the real you, for fear that it's going to be too much. Now, this leads to a very fearful and withdrawn approach to the world and to your relationships. After all, you don't want to make other people feel bad or make them feel uncomfortable, do you? When I say it like this, you might think, Carlos, you're being a little bit crazy here, but I think you also realize that I'm telling the truth. Take a look at your life and assess how often you are compensating this way in your life. Compensating for him and for other people. How much of yourself are you shutting down or hiding? Are you trying to make yourself smaller, less offensive, more acceptable, more lovable? Stop apologizing by way of your behavior. Start accepting yourself as you are and learn that your assets need to be given to the world, or you're going to be really uncomfortable and your relationships won't work. Hey, maybe you're in this situation right now. You're wondering, can I get this guy back into my life? Is he being cold or distant because I made a mistake? Is he maybe even sending you mixed signals, or are you worried that he's fallen out of love with you? Well, you can find out, and you can find out if you can win him back in the short quiz. Go here. Go to datingfire.com/win him back. That's datingfire.com/win him back. Go take it now. All right, another mistake you need to fix is you didn't figure out his point of view. If you made this mistake, you simply overlooked his needs and feelings for your own. And again, this is a mistake that everybody makes at some point or another. The key is recognizing it and coming back to him to talk about his point of view. In order to really recognize where he's coming from, you're going to have to really listen. And listen in between his words. He's probably giving you clues as to what he's feeling, but you won't know for sure until you've really heard him out. All right, and the mistake of not enough intimacy in your relationships. This is another mistake that women make and you have to be able to fix is, well, way back when, coal miners used to go deep underground to dig. They would bring down this canary, a bird in a cage. I'm not sure if it was always a canary, but it was a bird in a cage. The canary would tell them if the breathing conditions in the air were threatening. So they watched that canary to make sure that they wouldn't suffocate or maybe even create an explosion. Guess what? The canary of your relationship is the sex. The amount of time you spend in intimate contact of any kind is generally the best indicator of what state your relationship is in. So the best fix you can do is to make absolutely sure you are keeping the intimacy alive, and your canary, of course, both physically and emotional intimacy, okay? Both of them. Without it, your relationship is likely to suffocate. Let me give you the big fix here. The big fix for most relationship mistakes is apologizing and making it right. Now, that's not as easy as it sounds, and you may have even thought you were doing this, but never underestimate the power of a sincere apology. As a woman, you are probably aware of how to show him regret, right? Tears work really well when it comes to getting a man to recognize your feelings, but the apology can't look like it's being manipulative. You've got to be able to do it from the heart. And the best way to do this is to make things right with him. Show him that you can change or fix whatever happens between you, because that's going to install faith in your man that you are the one. Of course, there's plenty of other signals that he's looking for, and you also need to know what those are. Signals that you're doing things right and signals if you've made a mistake. Let's face it, if you're in a relationship right now, you can't possibly succeed without knowing more about men and how they work in relationships. That's what I'm here for. I put together some cheat sheets and some comprehensive instructions on how to win any man's heart. Let me show you where to get started so that you can have the kind of relationship you want. Go here right now. Go to datingfire.com/forever. Every man has a secret password to his heart, even your man. If you want him to see you as the one, you have to be able to unlock his heart. You got to be able to know what that password is. So go find the password here. Go to datingfire.com/forever. All right, before you rush off to another video, whether or not you're new here or not, just do the big three before you run away. Number one, like and subscribe. Get these videos every week. I put them out pretty much every Wednesday. Number two, turn on notifications. Click the little bell indicator next to the subscribe button, or depending on whatever service you're seeing this video on, click the subscribe so you get notified when my next video comes out. And if you're already subscribed, please do share these with somebody you know. We've got to spread the word about this information so that women everywhere can start getting the success they deserve. And number three, make sure you comment below. Do you agree with these tips? Is there another video you want? Just leave me a comment and let me know if there's other videos you want to see, or maybe a part 2 of this one. All right, don't forget, wait a few more seconds. I'm going to pop another recommended video right here in the corner for you to check out. This is Cavallo. As always, live and love with passion.